The moment it hits August 1st, I immediately enter fall mode and I start pulling out all the fall reads. So I thought, what better time to make my first video than to recommend some fall mangas. Now I tried to include a bit of everything in this video because I am a huge horror fanatic and I'm a huge vampire fanatic. So I try to keep those recommendations kind of limited and have something for everyone if you're looking for something spookier or if you're looking for something cozy. So I'm going to be starting off with spooky and going into some cozier reads as well. Starting off with Blood on the Tracks by Shuzo Oshimi. If you are looking for something more on the chilling side for fall, I would definitely recommend checking out Blood on the Tracks. This is a psychological horror about a terrifying bond between a boy and his mother. This is basically the ultimate boy-mom book, if you've seen those memes. Seiichi is an ordinary boy, but his mother, Seiko, is very suffocating, to say the least. At first, she just seems a little bit overprotective and maybe a little bit too attached, but things quickly escalate to a more manipulative and disturbing behavior that slowly chips away at Seiichi's sense of self. This isn't like a jump scare, direct horror book, it is a psychological horror, and it is more about the atmosphere of this that puts me in the spooky season because it is a very suffocating and uncomfortable read. So if you're looking for a good psychological horror this fall, definitely check out Blood on the Tracks. The next one I'm going to recommend is Helter Skelter by Kuyoko Okazaki. This again is not a supernatural direct horror. This story is a dark critique on the beauty industry. Liliko is a model star thanks to a body completely reconstructed by plastic surgery. She seems like glamorous and untouchable, but beneath all of that, she is spiraling. She's losing her grip on her career, on reality, on herself, on her sanity. This manga is more about exploring the price of fame, honestly, and beauty and like consumer culture, but it's a very good like psychological breakdown with a mix of body horror. So if you're looking for something unsettling to read, I think this is a very good fall read. This one is a bit less scary and it is Be Very Afraid of Kanako. It is kind of an absurd horror story. Each chapter is like a short story, but all of them with like a dark twist. So you never know if you should laugh or like be horrified or cringe. And it has this very good shift between like comedic exaggeration and unsettling horror. So it's a very good like anthology style manga with a good amount of comedy and creepy. Now this one is an anthology and it is Screaming Lessons by Emi Ishikawa. This is a classic horror shoujo anthology. It is about a ghostly girl, Yomi, who is narrating. The stories range from like schoolyard tales to unsettling paranormal encounters. The reason that I like this series is because it's a very good balance of like the beautiful shoujo art style that we're used to and horror. So it's like very soft and kind of pretty, but also creepy and disturbing. It's a short, sharp horror that's very easy to binge in the fall. Wonder House of Horror, it's also in an anthology format, but in a different setting, are drawn into strange, terrifying scenarios. Like her other work, each of them are standalone stories. This manga is very like haunted house vibes. I feel like it's a very good read on a stormy night where you just want to get into that fall mood. So it's perfect if you want to read something creepy, but not too long. Pet Shop of Horrors to me is a classic, so of course I have to recommend it. In the back alleys of Chinatown, there is a pet shop run by Count D. He sells strange, beautiful creatures that often reflect the desires or flaws of their owners. And when a customer inevitably breaks the rules, things take a tragic or horrifying turn. This series is like part horror, part morality play, part gothic fantasy. If you like series that mix supernatural with like eerie cautionary lessons, then this one is a must. Ghost Hunt is a supernatural mystery story with very strong paranormal vibes. It follows Mei, a high school girl who gets roped into helping the Shibuya psychic research team after a ghost hunt gone wrong. Each arc focuses on a new haunting, so abandoned schools, cursed houses, possessions. To me, this story has like a cozy, creepy vibe, like a good ghost story that you would tell around a campfire, but with ongoing characters so that everything ties together. Now, there are so many of Kaori Yuki's work that I could have included, but one that really feels like fall to me is Godchild. This is set in Victorian London, and it is a gothic mystery that follows Kane Hargreaves, the young heir to a cursed aristocratic family. Kane is drawn into a whole lot of stuff, and he starts investigating the crimes that somehow seem to have been following him always. This is a perfect blend of romance, horror, tragedy with like lavish gothic artwork. Now, Kaori Yuki is incredible. I only limited to one series of her on this list, but she is known for her like melodramatic Baroque storytelling, and to me this is one of her best works. It is super atmospheric and tragic and perfect for a fall night when you want to dive into a story with like gothic aesthetic. This is a newer series and also a newer read for me. I read it when I was at the airport and I saw it and it just seemed like something right up my alley because I'm a huge fan of the monster human trope. And that is Common Sense Monster. This series takes place in like an everyday school life and twists it with a horror premise. So it follows Ito, who is a lonely and socially awkward girl. She just always seems to say the wrong thing. She can't figure out how to make friends. One day she discovers that her classmate, Takahashi, isn't human at all. But Takahashi is pretty well liked by everyone, despite that she's a monster hiding in plain sight. Instead of running away, Ito asks Takahashi to teach her how to be normal, but the lines between danger and friendship blurs as their relationship deepens. It honestly shocked me how creepy the monster form for Takahashi was, and at the same time, the story was pretty funny. This recommendation is not a fall story, and that is Mr. Malibu. For some reason, my brain associates Mr. Malibu with fall. I think it's because there is a lot of rain in this series. You can even see it on the cover. I think my brain just associates the rain with the fall. I live in Florida. Once I see those droplets from hurricane season starting, Mr. Malibu is coming out for me. This manga is a mix of psychological drama and body switching. It follows Aoi, a young man who has become a shut-in after years of being bullied to the point that he had dropped out of high school. And at the lowest point, he attempts to take his life, but he ends up waking up in the body of a high school girl named Sakura. But Sakura has her own personal struggles. She's also dealing with some bullying at school, and she is currently just living a very gloomy life. This series explores what it means to carry trauma and how people perceive each other. It is very somber, emotional, and reflective, but it is still a very gripping story. I would pick this story up even if it's not fall, but the rainy atmosphere for me makes it a perfect fall read. Life by Keiko Tsunubo is not a horror series, but for me it is. I'm including this because this is one of the scariest stories I've read where there were points when I read Life that I had to put it down because it was giving me so much anxiety. But don't get me wrong, it is a great story, and I'm including this if you are looking for something messed up to read in the fall, honestly. The reason it's lower on the list is just because it is not technically a horror series. Life is a very heavy series about bullying and depression and honestly resilience. Ayumi is a high school girl who is struggling to find her place, and when she's betrayed by someone she thought was her friend, this story doesn't shy away from showing the dark sides of being a teenager. And when I say that, I mean it has a lot of trigger warnings for self-harm, abuse, manipulation. Honestly, I'll list the trigger warnings somewhere on the screen. It's a very raw and emotional story, and while it's not supernatural at all, its intensity makes it a very strong fall read for me, for those who are looking for something impactful. Now, if you follow me on any social media, it comes to no surprise that of course I have to recommend Otaku Vampire's Love Bite. I include this series in almost every recommendation video I do. This is a much lighter note from Life. This is a romantic comedy that follows Hina, a modern-day vampire with no interest in drinking the blood of humans. Her only interest is the anime Vampire Cross. Hina is a major otaku to the point that she moves from Romania to Tokyo to live out her otaku vampire life dream. And lucky for Hina, her next door neighbor happens to look exactly like Mao, her favorite character in Vampire Cross. This is by the same mangaka of Kami-sama Kiss, so the artwork is incredible. The story is super cute. I was obsessed right off the bat. The relationship between Hina and the people around her is so funny. She is so sweet, and getting to see how excited she gets about her otaku activities is so fun to me. I feel like this is a great, easy, lighthearted read if you are looking for something fun this fall. Midnight Secretary by Tomu Ohimi is a josei romance with a vampire twist. I tried to keep the vampires limited, but I am a vampire girl through and through. It follows Kaya. She is a professional, efficient secretary who prides herself in her work, but when she discovers that her perfectionist demanding boss is actually a vampire, she gets drawn into his world. The story is a very fun combination of office romance with drama and seduction and supernatural and vampires. So if you want something kind of steamy but still with an atmospheric fall feel, I would definitely check this one out. Now to me, the ultimate Halloween series is Sugar Sugar Ruin by Miyoko Anna, who in itself, she is an excellent artist. This is a magical girl story with more depth than you would expect. And don't take that the wrong way, I am a sucker for magical girl stories. It follows Chocola and Vanilla, two young witches who are sent to collect the hearts of boys in the human world, competing to see who will become the next queen of the magical world. While the series starts off very colorful and fun, it also tackles jealousy and desire and bittersweet sides of friendship. It's a balance of pretty aesthetics with emotional storytelling, and it also, to me, is very nostalgic. I just feel like this is a great fall pick. This is the ultimate Halloween read for me. Diving into the more cozy side is Champignon Witch. This series is actually getting an anime adaptation as well. It's a whimsical fantasy about a witch, a black witch who lives in a mushroom. The witch Luna, however, is known to be poisonous, so anything she touches dies. However, this doesn't stop her from going into town. This story is not scary at all. It captures like the perfect fall forest vibe. Now, I feel like this is probably the most popular series on this list, and that is Witch Hat Atelier by Kamome Shirahama. This series is breathtakingly beautiful, and I feel like almost everybody knows it, honestly. If you haven't read the series, you have still seen the beautiful art from it. It follows Coco, the daughter of a dressmaker who is an aspiring witch. After accidentally casting a forbidden spell, she is taken in by a master witch and begins her training. The art in this is incredibly detailed, and it gives like storybook vibes. So like, while it has like adventure and danger, the overall theme and mood of this series is very enchanting and whimsical. To me, this is like one of those cozy magical fantasies that you have to read in the fall. Hakumi and Miyochi is pure comfort. It follows Hakumi and Mikochi as they live in a forest village. They cook, they craft, they go on small adventures. This is just like the perfect peaceful and warm series to check out if you are looking for a cozy night in. It's a very slow and calm series. Now, my last recommendation, I might butcher the name, and that is Iega Suki Nahito by Chiaki Ida. This is a collection of short, quiet stories, all centered around people and the places they call home. It's very reflective and emotional, and it shows how houses carry memories, identity, and love. It's not spooky at all. This is the coziest one on this list. It is a deeply cozy read, which I think makes it a perfect one to close out this list with. Hopefully there was something on this list that interests you, and if you have read any of these series or plan to read any of them, please let me know in the comments. I tried to make this video a mix of everything because if I recommended the horror series that I'll be reading, that is a whole other video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like and a comment or subscribe. This is my first video, but I'm very excited to share more manga with everyone.